Hello there, commanders, and welcome back to Battle of Gladiators tournament. We are now in the final between SUNTZU and Kingdom, and we are on Oasis. So SUNTZU, after coming off from their spoiler victory over Flexwings, you can watch that in the top right corner, link right there right now, as well as to the playlist, most likely, we'll see. And let's see what both teams are up to and how these battles will be different compared to SUNTZU versus Flexwings. SUNTZU, similar strategy. Also, we've seen SUNTZU fight on Oasis before as well in the War Games Institute tournament. You can watch that as well, maybe link in the top right corner. If not, just remind me. Solkung sends in his dogs and sniffs out some Folksmen as they get charged. They didn't counter charge. Still pulling through. Ooh, that is going to be quite costly. Now they have finally used an attack order, used Defiance as well, and now dogs are suffering quite a lot of damage, but they're responding in kind. Solkung's charging in with another unit. Didn't release his dogs on the other one, as the dogs of the Kingdom are over here. Handers are being shot, but they wisely retreat. And here Germanicus is getting poisoned, as well as now allies. Do dogs suffer from poison? Apparently not. They're immune to poison. That's interesting. But because Zhuge Liang gets to come up so close, he can heal up the front lines. So the damage from poison is roughly equal to the healing power. So that is friendly fire neutralized, while on the enemy, well, it sticks if he doesn't have his own healing from Hasdrubal or Zhuge Liang himself. The dogs from Kingdom are going to heal up now, all three actually. Yeah, they're all dead over here. And SUNTZU has already a path open to E. Kingdom is doing the same and attacking SUNTZU on A, as the only two Leonidas units are being left there. One of the Leonidas units have made their way into C. C is completely uncontested, but it's still locked for 1 minute. So we'll see how the tempo translates into fighting for C. This unit almost routed, but there we go, hold the line, and let's forget about being flanked and routed. But find a shade for some reason instead of Hoplite Phalanx. And also, Kingdom has their own Leonidas who can push through and apply shield bashes. So yeah, we're in battle with Leonidas versus Leonidas, more Leonidas wins quite quickly. So yeah, that's quite brutal. Still find a shade. Why? Like, if these archers want to shoot in here, go for it. They would deal 10 times more damage to their allies than to Leonidas that is defending. So that is going to be A, captured by Kingdom, but E has already been captured by SUNTZU. So now when it comes to transitioning over and capturing C, well, SUNTZU are already on location in the locks in 5 seconds, and they already have 4 with 15 incoming to capture it very quickly, as Kingdom just barely gets out of A. But if you saw that with the corner of your eye, they were actually camping over here. They were expecting an attack on D, so they had, well, 3-4 players over here defending D for nothing, while attacking here with 3 players. So that was kind of questionable, to be honest. Like, the math doesn't add up. You defend with a larger force and attack with a lesser force. Well, that was definitely a mismatch in tactics. Maybe they just didn't read SUNTZU's intentions correctly. But whatever the case, SUNTZU now holds 3 points, Kingdom holds 2 points. An elephant is already being sent over to attack A to try to disrupt the healing. Not gonna happen. He runs away from archers. Well, pushing in alone, probably not the best of ideas. Where's March trying to dodge? Was that a barrage? Maybe. But anyway, most of it was dodged. And now Elephant just waits for more reinforcements to attack together with them. Quos Cavalry is already here, routing the enemy cavalry very nicely. 2 flanks plus Warcry. And that's a voice cry because I'm 13 years old. And also, yeah, I guess my throat is drying up a little bit. Plus I do have a little bit of a sore throat, so my voice may be slightly different than usual, but it doesn't matter. Now, Kingdom wants to attack C from both sides. They're attacking with the large force they had on A, but not really, they're just standing in place, never mind. They're defending their archers from Nothing. As the cavalry routes another cavalry unit, glaives are closing in as well. Well, that's some nice angle that these archers can utilize, but they have high arcs, so it could be dodged, but isn't. Kinda sucks, but now the vision is gone, unless they were hunted. Nope, they were not hunted. Cavalry gets out of the point, but encounters Leonidas, so yeah, that didn't go well. Also, surprising reflank, as we like to call it over here, surprising butt sex. Yeah, Scipio didn't like it. Apparently he's not gay. Oh, that's good. No, that's Sulla. Yeah. So, Sun Tzu now pushes in with their infantry. Like, we're holding E. Dogs are now being sent, trying to back up it. They're facing glaives. They're doing quite a good job against them. Oof, 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 oof. Where's the strike? His Archon is probably AFK. As he's leading his troops over here. So anyway, his unit gets obliterated pretty quickly and routed to add insult to injury. But an elephant is an elephant. Isn't going to care much. Yeah, so point E is going to be held. Also, Germanicus and Leonidas reinforcements have arrived. Germanicus finds a pretty nice charge into the dogs. If he launches Vengeance, he can maybe win this engagement. Yep, Vengeance is used against dogs. Dogs could be recalled in general circumstances, but now they're opposite side of the Germanicus unit, so they cannot be recalled. Germanicus can be flanked and routed, which is what the dog player is attempting, but is blobbing up. If you blob up, you can only apply one flank, two if you're lucky. And well, that's not going to be good enough, because Germanicus reacts to it in time. In the meantime, classic Sun Tzu doesn't defend their archers, doesn't have to. They're pushing into E through the forest. Barrage now being used against deflect missiles, as you can hear. Maybe. I could. So most of them is going to be deflected, and that barrage is not going to do much at all. Sun Tzu keeps pushing forward. Cavalry is getting into position. Two cavalry versus two cavalry over here. Kingdom cavalry is winning. Let's see, does Quo want to find a recharge? It wasn't much of a recharge, but as long as he applies the flank, routes the unit, I guess that still counts. Dogs are now being sent in. They will be the true damage dealers. They'll hold down the cavalry in place, which means that Quo can actually just already go and hunt down the enemy archers. Mixture pushes in regardless, fearless, just trying to deny healing, trying to do some damage to the archers, as they find some nice rear volley into the hoplite phalanx of Leonidas that is denying the healing. Dogs are also there as well. And now attack on C is also being launched, so Kingdom is desperately attacking all 3 points. They're attacking E, they're attacking C, or they're defending A. So they're attacking all 3 points, but fighting for all 3 points, and so is Sun Tzu, but Sun Tzu holds 3 out of those 5. B completely uncontested, obviously it's locked, so it just gives the points to Sun Tzu, 1.1 per second. D is also locked, so it also can be contested, so all 3 points that can be contested are contested, and that's pretty good to see. So battle is still going quite equally, but now Kingdom have run out of front line, so well, their archers are getting eaten alive. Well, they still have healing zone over here. 2 of their players are dead, so they can respawn at any time, but they are going to be blocked off from the point that they would like to reinforce. The Sun Tzu is in a very good position to go and capture. There we go. Cavalry spawns in straight in the middle of Leonidas. We'll see how that goes. That's actually interesting. He doesn't hoplite phalanx. Oof, that was big damage. That was shield bash. And mount kick didn't come quickly enough. And now they're getting charged by Sun Tzu cavalry, preventing from being moved, being prevented from moving. There we go, or being moved by orders. There we go. A is going to be captured. The infantry is not going to respawn there on time, so it respawn over a D, or maybe just decided to respawn over a D once they saw that A is pretty much doomed. E contest has also been denied, as one barely alive unit is being chased down by Germanicus, but they're slower. Can they catch them? Can they have Pila? They don't have Pila actually, because it's tier 7. There we go. But I remembered about that. Yep. Totally. So dogs of Kingdom are now being sent into E against that elephant, trying to hold the elephant in place as the Hunters would make their way inside E, and they will need to try to rout the Leonidas. Now A has been captured, since it has quite a large force over there, and Kingdom, instead of trying to defend D, they're pushing into C. That does make sense if they want to win through base capture, given that they are 6 points per second to just 1 point per second behind, so the advantage that SUNTZU holds is just going to get larger and larger. So trying to capture C and then trying to go for the base is definitely a good idea. But half of their forces that were supposed to go there are now being held in place by just one oafed cavalry, and that one oafed cavalry causes all that blob to just expose their backs to the crossbows. Crossbows cannot step out of the tall grass though, because their archers in the position trying already to deny them well, their life, I guess. So yeah, both teams are respecting each other. Now the cavalry is being focused, it's being invited straight into the embraces of the glaives. Actually, now when I think about it, those archers would have a higher because they would need to shoot over their own units. So I could still just dodge it, although with Zhuge it's slightly more difficult because Master Patience makes you slower. And if I were to disable Master Patience, I wouldn't to get much closer, but it was still possible. So yeah, I could have went for it, but it still went quite well. I still had targets. If I had no other targets, maybe I would go after the archers. But now the archers have recalled back to the base, as they were completely useless in that exchange. D is now under control of SUNTZU, so SUNTZU holds all 5 points, and only one of them is being contested. And that attack on C has also been met with resistance, and didn't have enough power, as most of that power has been held in place by just one Scipio cavalry. So very well played there by SUNTZU, pulling heavily ahead in this battle, just completely dominating it. Foxes not very good against ranged units, as they don't have shields, they don't have armor. It's pretty much perfect target, and SUNTZU crossbows are making the most of it. Although now they are being targeted by archers, as they have positioned themselves on this mini hill, but there is also a mini rock over here that can serve as a hiding spot and just look around. Didn't work though. The barrage was still eaten, but the healing is on. And obviously soldiers that were killed cannot be brought back. And now let's see what the repeating crossbows will do here. They shoot the unit that was being charged, so they change the target, but that unit is also getting charged. So even more friendly fire, because why not? Oof! Oof! That was a big oof. Yeah. Totally the range unit's fault. It's never the melee unit's fault. It's not like the arrows were already in the air. It's not like it was communicated which unit was being shot. So I'm shooting this unit, please charge the other one. And it was like, okay, I will charge the one you're shooting, and I will eat friendly fire, and then I'll... Well, if that was a random battle, they would blame the ranged units. Come on, dear viewers, you know you've been there, you know you've been there. You charged the unit that was being shot, and then you blame the ranged player. What the fuck was that focus fire, huh? Fucking noob. Anyway. Well, the battle is almost over. 1 minute until it ends with 9.5 points per second. As the crossbows are dealing some nice damage, they have huge chevron advantage, well, as do everybody else. So yeah, that was complete domination, just a mismatch of strategies. And if Kingdom were to push faster, because they had 4 players over here and they just camped and waited to be attacked, which never happened, and then when they realized that the main SUNTZU force is over here on E, well, the force on E was already attacking E, while this force was just starting to move. And it was 4 versus 1 over here, and what, 6, well, 5 versus 3 over here. So the mismatch was better for Kingdom, and they actually, if you were to count time from starting to attack the point to capturing the point, Kingdom was faster, because they had a larger mismatch, and also Brender fucked up. He had only 2 units there. Anyway. So Kingdom was faster, so if they didn't make that mistake at the very beginning, which then set them back in overall tempo on the battlefield very far behind, that battle could have been much more equal than it was. But well, it wasn't, so SUNTZU takes the victory 1-0, and I'll see you in the next battle. Until then, I'll also see you on Arena's Battlefields Commanders, as the music ends perfectly at the end of the video.